How to create and manage email accounts in Plesk. Start by going to the Mail tab. Email accounts are associated with a domain, which is then associated with a subscription on your Plesk account. Click Create Email Address. Type the first part of the email address. If you have several domain names on your account, select the domain name under which the email address will be created. The domain names in this list are associated with the active subscription shown here. If you don't see the domain you want, try choosing a different subscription. Specify the mailbox size if you want it to be different than the default size as defined by the service provider. Choose a password and type it in these two boxes. Click OK. Once you have created an email address, you can edit it by clicking on it. This page shows the same settings we saw when first creating the account. Click Forwarding. For each email account, you can set up an email forwarding service that will send copies of all incoming messages to the specified email addresses. Email aliases are alternative email addresses that are associated with a primary email address. All mail sent to email aliases will be received by the primary email address. For each email account, you can switch on the automatic response service, which will send a predefined email message in reply to any incoming email message. The spam filter detects spam messages sent to the email address and, depending on the chosen settings, deletes them, moves them to the spam folder, or marks the messages as spam. The antivirus service blocks email messages that contain viruses and notifies both the sender and the recipient. These tabs will be covered in more detail in the following tutorials. Click OK to save any changes. To configure the mail service settings that apply to all domains created under a subscription, click Change Settings. You can switch the mail service on or off. If the mail service is switched off, email messages cannot be sent or received. When somebody sends a message to an email address that does not exist under your domain, the mail server, by default, accepts mail and processes it, and when it finds out there is no recipient under the domain, it returns the mail back to the sender with an error message. You can choose to bounce the message back to the sender with a message you specify, forward the email to another address, or reject the message without notifying the sender. We'll leave it as Reject and click OK. That's it! Now you know how to create and manage email addresses and change the mail settings for each subscription on your account.